Sometimes a Ziploc bag is a Ziploc bag, and sometimes it's something else entirely. Hi, I'm Nika Waters, and welcome to the Boat Galley Podcast. Today I'm talking about wallets, and yeah, sometimes that means it's a Ziploc bag. Today's episode of the Boat Galley Podcast is sponsored by Saving to Sail. Whether you want to start a blog or an online business, get paid to write, or get a remote job, Saving to Sail gives you the knowledge, tools, and inspiration to make money while cruising. Visit savingtosail.com/boat galley for exclusive bonuses and use code BG20 for 20% off all Saving to Sail e-courses. Saving to Sail, help you work online so you can leave the dock sooner and sail the world longer. The joke in the cruising community is that a cruiser wallet is just a Ziploc bag into which you stuff boat cards and cash and anything that you might need as you're going ashore to go shopping. It's a joke, but it's also grounded in reality because the fact of the matter is there's no room really for one of those fancy leather wallets, tri-fold or quadruple fold or however many fold things that you used to have during land life. Most of the time you're throwing your stuff in a backpack, taking it on a dinghy ride, and you really don't want stuff to get wet. Sure, cash isn't going to fall apart like a piece of paper would, but soggy dollars are not a lot of fun to deal with. So a cruiser wallet is quite often just a Ziploc bag that you repurpose. It's cheap, it's ubiquitous, it's easily replaced, it doesn't attract attention. Generally, you can tuck it in and not worry if it gets too beaten up. You might already have used your current cruiser wallet for something else, and you're repurposing an already used bag just for your wallet. Sometimes, though, you can have something that's not a Ziploc bag as a cruiser wallet. And I'm reminded of this actually every time I pull my current wallet out of my purse. Granted, I'm not currently cruising. And I think that some of the details of this particular little wallet won't work really well when I'm out on the water. For starters, it's got a zipper, and those things tend to just seize up after not too long in the salt air. But this particular wallet that I have is probably the size of what most people would call a change purse. It's small. It's not really even the size of my palm. It's beautiful and colorful and definitely different than most people's wallets. I can tuck it in my purse. I can grab it and carry it with me. It holds the couple of bills that I carry and definitely holds my credit card. And that's mostly what I want, is an easy way to make sure I can grab my card when I'm going somewhere. This wallet, though, is not just a wallet. When I pull out this wallet and take a look at the gorgeous, intricate patterns that are there, and open it up and look inside and see the layers of cloth, I'm taken immediately back to going cruising for a week on Totem with Jamie and B and Gifford with my family a couple of years ago, long before this coronavirus hit. We were invited to go down and join the Totems for a week of cruising in what wound up being in the San Blas Islands. We had hoped to go through the Panama Canal, but that didn't happen. Well, if you're familiar at all with the San Blas Islands, the Gunayala is the more accurate term for that part of the world. It's a set of islands to the east of the Panama Canal on the Caribbean side. And the indigenous peoples there, the Guna, they have a really beautiful way of sewing that has turned into folk art. I believe that in their culture, it was a part of the women had to have a certain number of these blouses that were stitched in order to kind of have their dowry and to get married. I think they actually still wear some of the blouses, but a lot of them are made and sold to tourists who come through. And the patterns that are on there run the gamut from portraying the natural life to portraying different religious symbols or even a representation of the geography that surrounds the islands. There are many layers of cloth, and the stitching that goes through, I think what happens is they pull the layer of cloth underneath it through so that it's almost like the cloth is sticking up into the next one. And there are these just spectacular, intricate, tiny, teeny tiny little stitches. That amount of attention to detail and the craftsmanship that's absolutely apparent in every single one of these molas. They're called molas. A couple of the people who would come out to the boat where we were anchored, they would bring their wares to sell. And they had these, some of them were just gorgeous and huge. And I think the largest ones we saw were kind of 2 feet by 2 feet, pretty large pieces of tapestry almost. And then they went down in size to something that was more of a postcard size. And a second or third person who came out one day, they had what I might consider more practical applications of this mola art. You could have bought a glasses case, a padded case that was stitched and beautiful on the outside with a mola. You could buy a koozie for your beer or soda bottle. And we actually did buy a couple of those, and we use them all the time. And they're really fun. You pull them out. They look different than everything else. And my favorite, though, is the wallet. I looked, and there was a little square. It's probably 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches square. And the mola is on both sides of the wallet. And it's got a pretty small little zipper that I don't think will hold up to the salt air in the slightest bit. But it's bright and it's colorful, and I couldn't resist it. And every time I pull my wallet out, it makes me smile. Now, when we're cruising and my cruiser's wallet happens to be a Ziploc bag, I don't think that will make me smile every time I pull it out. Although when we're sailing now and I do pull out a Ziploc bag that is my wallet, it does make me smile, because that Ziploc bag that's been repurposed as a wallet, it represents an ingenuity and a freedom and a simplicity and a frugality that is missing in a lot of other parts of my life. But I wonder, will I take the wallet that I have that reminds me of cruising and tuck it into the cruiser's wallet when we actually leave to go cruising? Remains to be seen. But for now, that wallet is way more than just a place to hold my cash. Thanks so much for listening to the Boat Galley podcast. We're looking forward to sharing an anchorage with you sometime down the line. Meanwhile, have you shared us with friends of yours? Have you let us know what you'd like us to cover? We love hearing from our listeners. Have a safe and happy week.